The first submodule includes fundamentals of gamification. It contains the definition of gamification and explains the difference between games, game-based learning, and gamification. Gamification is explained from the instructional point of view in this submodule. In very general terms, gamification refers to use of game components and game design techniques in a non-game context. Some researchers describe it as the process of game thinking and game mechanics to engage users and solve problems. Gamification is applied in many fields, such as health, business, marketing, and education. Although the term gamification is new, its applications in education date back to old times. For example, wearing a World Scout emblem, giving certificates of honor, getting points when students complete their homework, moving to a higher grade at the end of each academic year if they perform well. In other words, leveling up are examples that can be given. It is known that gamification has positive effects in terms of increasing engagement with the environment, motivating the user, experiencing the feeling of flow during a task, creating an enjoyable environment, increasing participation, success, and performance. To take advantage of the potential power of games, gamification uses game elements in the real world, capturing the feelings similar to those in games, but without leaving the real world. One of the best examples of gamification is Duolingo. Duolingo is a web based mobile application for learning foreign languages. In this application, learners adjust the challenge level for themselves with the daily goals they set. They receive feedback on their progress. They compete with other users on the leaderboard by getting points from the activities they complete. And they earn badges, virtual goods according to their success. It is possible to define game as an entertaining activity that is surrounded by a mechanic based on a certain rule or rules and carried out in line with a certain goal. It includes a challenge and a win lose situation. On the other hand, educational games are used to achieve specific learning goals and they provide immersive learning experiences with the components they contain. With its unique rules, games offer social interaction opportunities by providing active experiences in meaningful and lifelike environments. Many studies have found that it contributes to learning in different fields. The common point of all gamification definitions is that it includes game components, and the most significant distinction between a game and gamification lies in the absence of conventional gameplay elements within gamification itself. Unlike in gaming scenarios, gamification does not involve actions such as shooting objects rapidly by pressing the space bar on a keyboard or evading monsters using arrow keys and navigating obstacles through finger swipes on a mobile phone screen. Instead, a story featuring monsters may be used within a gamified fitness application. Or, for example, you could escape from a virtual monster by running a specified distance or overcoming an obstacle by engaging in intense physical activity, such as sprinting for 5 minutes. This gamified approach enables users to advance in a game like environment by undertaking real world tasks and experiences. Game based learning can be defined as the use of games to attain educational objectives. The use of games developed for educational purposes or games that can serve learning objectives in lessons are examples of game based learning. Research indicates that game based learning facilitates active, experiential, and problem based learning approaches. While game based learning involves the direct use of a game, instructional gamification entails the integration of game elements into course content. In the context of gamification, learners engage with these game elements as they progress through various learning activities. Gamification is based on motivation principles. Self determination theory is one of the theories that gamification can be based on. The self determination theory emphasizes that individuals have three basic psychological needs due to their existence. And these needs are categorized under competence, relatedness, and autonomy. The individual's need for competence is met by coping with a struggle and achieving it. The need for relatedness is met by having a satisfying relationship in the social environment. The need for autonomy is met when the individual feels in control and can make choices. According to self determination theory, individuals are motivated by activities to fulfill these basic needs. In the theory, the motivation of the individual is on a continuum that includes extrinsic motivation on one side and intrinsic motivation on the other side. While intrinsic motivation is defined as an individual's desire to perform a task to meet his or her own interests and desires, extrinsic motivation is defined as an individual's desire to perform a task not to meet his or her own interests and desires, but due to external factors. And it is emphasized in the theory that extrinsic motivation will be internalized. Therefore, social context should be created in which intrinsic motivation is supported and extrinsic motivation can be internalized to ensure the development of individuals. In addition, researchers emphasize that, according to this theory, an individual who initially has to fulfill the task of learning only due to external factors will start to do this task with his or her own desire and willingness as his or her skills develop over time and as he or she believes in learning, extrinsic motivation will be internalized. In summary, from an instructional standpoint, gamification can be defined as an educational approach that incorporates game design principles into the learning environment to cultivate interest and motivation among learners. Unlike game based learning, gamification does not involve actual gameplay. Rather, it entails the integration of game elements into the learning process. This approach, fundamentally geared towards enhancing individual performance through motivation, and is rooted in motivation theories. One such theory is the self determination theory, which emphasizes that individuals are driven to engage in activities to satisfy fundamental needs as competence, relatedness, and autonomy. In our upcoming lesson, we will delve into the design of gamified environments and provide examples of gamification.